questions. I'll answer, I'll ask, and then we'll answer the community questions.
That sounds wonderful. I'm very excited. Wide awake, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed for 6:31 a.m.
You are not kidding. For 9:31, I'm going to be just livid on this coffee right now.
I've got a cup of Joe. You'll see me partaking throughout this adventure.
Sounds good. All right, let me tell some people here, and we will get this going. Okay, I think we can get started here. Let me start the recording. Oh, I think we're live. Okay, guys, welcome to SifuInu AMA. We have DeFi Damsel representing the team. Miss Damsel, please take it away. Hello.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this fine morning. It's pretty early for me, 6:30 a.m. in the Pacific Standard Time Zone. But I wanted to get up and talk to you all and have a cup of coffee with me and just chat about my project, SifuInu. I am the founder of SifuInu, and just to tell you a little bit about myself, I am a former employee of Toyota Motor Sales, where I managed a $12 billion treasury, did all the accounting, implemented a software, cutting edge software for their $12 billion treasury. And so when this opportunity came up and this idea came to my head, I thought, you know what, I am like super qualified to like do this project. So I thought, let's do it. And now let me tell you a little bit about my journey. So I was in DeFi for like a year ago. I started about a year ago, and I got my fingers burned a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And the first time I bought into a project, it was not a great experience. I bought on the Binance Smart Chain. And I bought the wrong token because I had a fake contract address. And although I only lost $5, it really stuck with me that like that $5 just went to some scammer, out on the internet that wasn't even the project that I wanted to buy. Then when I did end up buying the project that I wanted to buy, I bought in and was told and lied to and said that Snoop Dogg's coming and this advertisement in Times Square, New York Times Square is coming and we're going to make all this money. And I had a slow rug pull, over time, and I lost a bunch of money in that project. And, that was a huge bummer to me. So, fast forward a little while later, I got onto the Avalanche blockchain and realized how awesome Avalanche is with low fees, super fast, 3 chains going there to make it a hyper speed and like super fast and easy transactions. After being there for a while, I got into something called DAOs. And it's not the normal DAO that you would think of, like, decentralized autonomous organization where, communities and cities use it to vote on whether they want a new park or something like that. It's actually a slang term for DeFi that means these high APY rebasing projects that sort of lure you in with these like 80,000 like APY and 10 Lambos in 5 minutes, and that kind of sort of pie in the sky kind of unrealistic inflationary project dream that and it wasn't really so much. I knew about inflationary projects and I knew about that, but what happened with that is that I was lied to, and I was told that there's this there's this charismatic guy all over YouTube, having all this fun and sort of saying, oh, we've got full integrity, and we're full of all this, we have all this great experience and this great team, and has all this happen. But it turns out that the team was like a total bunch of crooks, and it was like and the founder knew about it and lied to us, and then the project, when this information came out, the project like just totally tanked, and the price went to zero, and we basically lost all our money. So that was just a huge bummer. I lost a lot of money in the DAOs, and so I thought, how can I fix this? And since I manage, I was an accountant, I'm a veteran accountant. I've just this is just my jam, economics, supply and demand, and this is stuff I think about. It's like, a lot of people think about, going to the beach on vacation. I'm like thinking about, how could I have fixed this DAO situation? How could I have made it better? And I came up with well, it's just really a supply and demand issue. They have way too much supply, and so if you just decrease supply and then have a little bit of demand aggregators in there and do it on a daily basis and create some volume, that would basically like fix all the problem. So I called up a friend of mine and we hashed all these things up, and we're talking about it for like 4 or 5 hours. I'm like, this is my idea, what do you think? And he's like, yeah, that's really cool, and I think that would work, because he also lost a lot of money in the DAOs too. And he was like, yeah, that seems really good, that seems like really awesome or whatever. And so we kind of like put that to bed or whatever, got off the phone. He was East Coast like you are. And he and I turned on the TV, and normally I just like Netflix and chill, but this particular night I just happened to turn on the regular TV, and it was on the game show channel, and what came on was Deal or No Deal, where they open the suitcases, and the guy on the phone, the banker like calls and makes you an offer, based on what suitcases have been opened and that kind of thing. And I was like, whoa, that would work really, really, really good for our project that we just came up with.
Huh.
Yeah, so I was like, so basically that's like how the idea was born, and I threw it out there. I'm a moderator for the DeFi, a DGen DeFi group on Facebook. We've got like 20,000 members or something like that, and I threw it out there with some of the admins and some of the moderators over there. Shout out to any of you guys if you're listening. But yeah, so I threw it out with some of them, and they were like, oh my gosh, this is like the best idea, like totally fixes all the problems with the DAOs, because we were all invested in heavily in these DAOs, and we all lost. Like I don't think that there's probably one of us that actually got a Lambo out of any of that deal. So, and we were bummed, and we were like, what, let's just create our own project, or whatever. And I'm like, well, you guys, I have this idea. And they're like, okay, Laura, DeFi Damsel, aka Laura, I'm fully doxxed, by the way. So, all my information and my name is all out there, because we wanted to be open kimono and avoid any of the problems that happen with these other DAOs, where their sort of history was like not known, or like what happens with other projects where it's like there's like 5 people on the team, and there's a bunch of finger pointing going on. Well, oh, there's a rug pull. Well, oh, this person did it. Oh, it was this guy, or it was that guy, or that kind of thing going on. And I didn't really want that happening. So, I developed my own project because I know I have integrity. I had the utmost integrity because I had to report, $12 billion worth of treasury, all the time to Japan for Toyota. And, you have to follow the rules, and you have to have integrity to have that sort of position. So my real world, although this is my inaugural project, it is my real world, it's early. It's 3 a.m. in. My real world experience gives me sort of the ability and the background and the proven trust out there to do my own project. So yeah, but okay, so that was kind of boring. And then I had been meeting with some of the people in my group and talking to them, and they're like, hey Laura, I have some experience too, I'd like to join your team. And I'm like, okay, what kind of experience you have? And I was talking with Scott Hollows, who became our developer, and he and I were chatting around. He's like, I want to come on your team. I want to join SifuInu, and it just sounds so great and it's so wonderful. And he goes, but what are your pain points? Like, what's really getting you right now? And I go, well, everything's really good. We've got this deal or no deal thing going on where we're going to have burn days or earn days, or burn days. And so that's going to be similar to like the APY from the rebase projects. And we're going to do it randomly because randomizing the airdrops and doing snapshots of randomized times, if you don't hold a bag, you're not going to qualify for the airdrop. And the bigger bag you hold is going to actually make it, that you'll get a bigger airdrop. So I've got all that figured out, that's great. I've got the buyback and burns to keep it deflationary. So I've got this inflationary thing going on with the APYs and the airdrops, and I've got this deflationary buyback and burn, which is going to control and create volume and on all this profits for airdrops, and I got all that figured out, right? But I don't know how I'm going to do the randomization for the picking of the earn or the burn days. And he was like, okay, let me throw it out to some of my developer friends. So he goes out to his group of 1,000 developer buddies and was like, hey, we're worried about getting accused of manipulation. And so is there a program we could develop or something that where it would make us, free of any liability or manipulation, because the SEC is really big on that. And, you can't have any manipulation or anything like that. And they all came back with the same answer, which is like, no, you can't. Any developer, any software programmer or anything like that, if they're developing it, means they're creating it, and it's manipulated. They're by definition, it's manipulation. So he's like, really the only way to do it is similar to like a lottery or like a bingo, where you will go live, like a third-party source, like a YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, and we're going to be going live on a daily basis, and then pick a totally randomized number, and then determine the earns or burns, and then determine the amount of the earns or burns of the daily basis. So I'm like, okay, yeah, that looks good. And he's like, but guess what? That's not all. I have found the coolest way to pick the randomized number. I'm like, what's that? And he's like, well, let me show you. Actually, can I show you guys here? Would that be okay?
Yeah, please do. Absolutely.
Okay. So he came up with picking a randomized number from the blockchain. So we go on here onto the blockchain, and we're going to this site called Transaction Street. And it's really fun. It's each transaction on the Ethereum mainnet blockchain is represented by a South Park character. So you got like Cartmans and Butters and everybody, all the little guys. See, these are all transactions on the blockchain, right? And each bus here, these are buses on the street, on Ethereum Street, are loading up with transactions, and when they fill up, a transaction hash is generated. See, it's that fast. It just happened. But before it says 0. So every time it will be like live, and recorded. So there's no manipulation. And we're going to use the last 3 numbers, exclude any letters. And so we're going to do 473. And let me write it down so I don't forget. And then we're going to come over to our hand. And you know what? In my last AMA, there was a really good suggestion. And if you guys know any, maybe put some in the comments below, or shout it out. But I got a suggestion for, if I can share this, let's see, a really cool Google document. Oh, wait, let's see. Am I sharing this? 1 second. I can't walk and talk. It's too early. Okay, stop sharing. Someday when SifuInu is successful enough, you guys, we are going to have somebody else to do this for me. Okay, can you guys see my screen now? The Excel?
Yes, we can. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay, so but there's supposedly some Google documents that's supposed to be amazing, and oh, there's what I wanted. Home. Okay, and that will show like a wheel of fortune type of thing. So we might take a look at doing some of that before launch. But I'm a nerd. I'm an accountant, and so Excel is kind of my jam. Like I am like an Excel expert. It's like something I don't tell people at parties. It's kind of fun, and I nerd out on stuff. And so I got creative here with my spreadsheet, and I chose the colors of the Los Angeles Rams, who just won the Super Bowl. For any of you don't know, they're my team, and they won. Woohoo! And so SifuInu wants to model after them, and so I kind of chose these for my earns and burns demonstration for you guys. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna come in here and do like a Control F, which is a find function. And we're going to go and find 473 and find next. Okay, and then what is it? Is it a bird? Okay, it's a bird. So there's no APY or airdrops today, and it's basically, going to be taking out of supply. So let's see, but I'm going to come through and I'm going to strike through. So there's 600 earn days and 400 burn days randomly placed in here by the Excel randomizer function. And so we don't know whether it's going to be an earn or a burn day, right? But let's say that we draw 473 again, because I'm a huge game person. I play poker. I just love game theory. I love it. But let's say we chose 473 again. If we chose 473 again, then we'll go to 472. And it's like the Price is Right. You can go up to, but you can't go over, right? Without going over. So let's say 472 is chosen. We'd go 471 all the way down to 1. And then how we would choose the 1000th day is it would wrap around when you've got everything below 1. Because the other day in an AMA, we drew a 3. And so if 2 and 1 had been chosen, if that makes sense, we're going to go to 0. But yeah, so I just chose 10,000 for 10 million for a random amount. I mean, just for an amount here, but the amounts will vary. And I'll get into that a little bit later when we get to the tokenomics section about how this is going to change the earns and burns day. But we're going to go live every day on Facebook and YouTube. And we are going to do the drawing. And my thoughts are that that's going to bring in some. Ooh, my camera frozen?
It does appear your camera's frozen, yes.
Oh, okay, hold on a sec. Let me try to fix this.
Yeah, start easily fix it. Welcome to Telegram. This is what it does.
Oh man. Okay, do I have to X out of here?
No, if you just stop sharing your screen and then reshare, or stop sharing your camera and reshare, it should fix it.
Okay. Oh, okay. I just closed my camera. It's left it off so everybody could see it. And this is the Island Princess behind me by the actor Anthony Quinn. The lighting isn't the best, but yeah. Anyway, he was an artist too. Who knew? Or anyway. So I digress. But back to my story. Yeah, so that's basically how the earns and burns days are going to work. And if I can, maybe talk a little bit about the tokenomics right now and how sort of it works. But let me, if it's okay, first, if we could put in, I just want to let you guys know that we have a little over 3 hours and 10 minutes before our fair launch closes. And we did open kimono at SifuInu. We're open kimono, and I just really full transparency. We had a pre-sale to do fundraising money. It was all spent on marketing and getting the word out, which I think is very, very important and will continue throughout the entire life of the project. But we have a fair launch going, and the pre-sale price was considerably higher than it is right now. So it's like basically on sale. It will never be this cheap again. Once it launches, it's going crazy. So I want to let you guys know to jump in there and buy it and get it right, because we're going to hit the soft cap, because no matter what, you know, it's going to be bought up.
We just did hit the soft cap, but DeFi Damsel.
Oh, did I hit the soft cap already? Wait a minute.
You guys said last night. Forgive me, I could be incorrect, but explain to the group here. So I've never promoted a pink sale fair launch before. What is a pink sale fair launch? Why are we allowed to purchase?
Best question of the year. Okay,
yes,
thank you very much. First, let me take a sip of coffee for this, because it's a little bit of a concept to understand.
So what's the difference between that and a pre-sale? Exactly.
Okay, so the difference between a pre-sale and a soft cap. So a pre-sale has a fair launch. A pre-sale has a soft cap and a hard cap. Okay, so once the soft cap is met on pink sale, that means that you're guaranteed you're gonna get it. But and then once the hard cap is met, it's sold out. With a fair launch, there is no hard cap. You send a certain amount of tokens to the project for the whole fair sale, and whatever gets sold gets divided out amongst everybody. So if you don't have that many that sell, not that saying that we don't have that many, but I'll get into that in a minute. But there wasn't as many as we had projected based on other projects that had similar size. There was another project that had half of the marketing spend that we had. But I think there was a little bit of a disconnect with sort of market timing in the Avalanche blockchain, which I really want to stress. It's amazing, blockchain and network to get over to. And, just sort of getting your feet wet with this is like the perfect opportunity, because this is an amazing price. But so right now what we have going on is I had projected a 1,500 AVAX sale, and we're like at about our soft cap is 420. So when we hit our soft cap in like probably about 20 or 30 minutes, if we haven't hit it already, then the price gets locked in. So none of the money will get returned to anybody. If we don't hit the soft cap, which we will, because it's going to get bought up by me or somebody else, because I'm too much hard work in this. But so when the soft cap gets hit, then that's the price. That sets the price. And so this price is going to be divided up to everybody. So basically everybody that bought in the pre-sale needs to come in right now. So if any of you guys out there listening are pre-sale buyers, you better load up your bags right now, because it's like a huge discount, and you can get like, 1 million tokens for sort of a fraction of the price that you paid for the 1 million tokens in the pre-sale price. And that's just what it is. You can predict things, and that's the thing, the difference between accounting and finance. Finance, you look by the past, you look at the closest thing that you can to predict the future, but it's still the future. Nobody knows what's going to happen. Nobody knows. And we thought that 1,500 was a very reasonable prediction, and it was sort of an attainable, very easy goal. And on Binance Smart Chain, it would have been filled up, and not filled up, but that goal would have been attained as soon, as the floodgates had opened. But yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge getting people over to the Avalanche network. But you guys, the difficulty is if you take the time, which I have videos, and I don't know, they're pinned in my Telegram. Maybe you could put the video in the chat. It's DeFi Damsel, and it's how to move BSC over from BSC to AVAX and to buy AVAX. It's like a little two-step project, but it'll get you there with gas money to do the transaction, and it's a little swap through something I call Elk Finance, but it's over there. And then it's also pinned on my Telegram group. So if you guys join the Telegram, go over and join the Telegram. Everything's pinned there. The video on how to do it is pinned there. All the promotions are pinned there. If you guys don't even have any money, but you still like this project and you want to get into it, I'm offering $10 worth of free SIFU airdrop if you follow us on all 5 socials. So just send me a screenshot. Yeah, send me a screenshot of all your 5 socials, and then DM me your wallet address, and I will airdrop you $10 worth of SifuInu. So
I'm looking through the video right now. Actually, that's a good idea to show everyone how to.
Okay, yeah. So let's take a minute, and do that, because
I got it right here. Okay, perfect.
Yep. Perfect. Yeah, put that in the drop. You guys watch it. It's not easy, but you will benefit from it. I'm telling you, this price is a freaking steal. I am going to manage this on a daily basis, and I am going to make sure that the price stays deflation, the price stays high, because I have this earn and burn mechanism built into it. We're just going to talk about in a minute. It's going to get it and keep the price high. So getting it right now is a steal. And if you miss out, on it because you didn't want to go over to the avalanche or whatever, then you're too bad, so sad. I mean, you guys are, this is an amazing opportunity to get it at this price right now. So take advantage of it. And although it takes a little bit more work, don't you always have to work for everything a little bit harder? Okay, so you got to do 15 clicks instead of 2 clicks on Binance, to get over to it's not that hard, so, and I make it really simple in the video, but yeah, so the price is amazing right now. It's only open till, wherever you're at, that I don't even know the UTC time, but it's only open till 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You guys can do the math. East Coast, I guess, what is that? 1 p.m., right?
That's 5 p.m. 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time is 1 p.m. EST, and that is 6 p.m. UTC.
Yes, you know what? I should know that from my AMAs yesterday. Okay, you're right. 6 p.m. UTC. So this is the last chance, because once I launch it and once this thing goes live, I feel like the price is going to go up. So especially once the word gets out with the earns and the burns, and somebody goes, hey, I just got airdropped $150 worth of AVAX from this project called SifuInu. It's on Avalanche, but it's not that hard to get over there. And so I think once that word gets out, God. Once that word gets out, we're gonna be good to go. Let me have a sip of coffee. And we'll talk about the tokenomics, if I can, and explain how it's deflationary and inflationary, and how these two sort of supply and demand battles are going to fight it out, and we're going to all win in the process. So, okay. So the tokenomics, when you buy, we're just going to talk about buying right now. When you buy, it's 10%. But when you buy, when you sell, if you sell, when you take profits, you'll get, it's actually a 10% buy and 10% sell. So basically, and when you buy, it's 10%, and 70% of that 10%. So 7% out of the 10 is scheduled and slated right now to be airdropped to all individuals holding SIFU bags. AVAX dropped based on the percentage of the amount of the bag that you hold. That's why you want to buy a big bag right now. If you have a huge freaking bag, you know how it works, right? So anyway, but so if you I am like way too hyped up for 6 a.m. Okay, so if you airdrop, so 70% of it is airdropped weekly, and it's randomized. Okay, so every week before 11:59 or before 12 midnight on every Saturday, this airdrop is going to occur. So you don't know if it's going to be Monday morning at 3:43 a.m. or if it's going to be Saturday night at 11:42. It's totally random. And if you're not in it, you can't win it. You will not get the airdrop. You will not participate in the profit sharings if you do not have a bag of SIFU. And if you don't have a big bag of SIFU, then you're going to be bummed. So if you take profits and you get out, you're going to want to get back in, because you're not going to want to miss either another earn day that comes up, and you'll be airdropped that SIFU, and you don't want to miss the profit sharing airdrop if it hasn't occurred for that week. So what that does is that creates some volume and some movement going on there. And the more volume, the more taxes are collected. And the more taxes that are collected, the higher the airdrops and the higher the amounts that we all receive in rewards. So 70% of that is that. And then I have slated 20%, 10% of each one. It's 20% for a complete trend, a buy and a sell, but it's 10% of just a buy. Oh, it's 20%. Anyway,
20% in and out, 10%. Yeah,
yes. But it's a buyback, and I am going to toggle between the two. I'm going to shift around the 70%, and I'm going to shift around the buybacks. Like if we open up a huge suitcase and everybody gets airdropped, 1 billion tokens, that's not going to happen, because I'm not going to inflate the token to nothingness, but let's just for fun's sake say we unlock, you know, a suitcase, unveil a suitcase, wallet, scroll that has, you know, 1 billion tokens in it, and then, you know, we airdrop them out to everybody. That's going to make the price like totally go. So we might actually, and I will, like, you know, totally open kimono here, and that's how we are. We like to just spell it how it is, and just let you know that if it's a huge suitcase that gets open, we might, you know, airdrop it over time. But if that backs up, if we get a couple big suitcases that open, and because we don't know how it's going to turn out, this is all a game. This is all fun. Like, we don't know the end of the game. You know, we're playing a game. Who's going to win? Well, we're all going to win because I'm going to make sure that happens. But you know, it's a game, so we don't really know, like, you know, what's going to happen. So but if a few airdrops like build up and back up over time and they sort of like congest, what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust that, and I'm just going to airdrop everybody, but then I'm going to buy back all of it and then burn it all to keep the price, to make the price go back up. So so that's the built-in, really the awesome tokenomics, is that we're going to play with the airdrop and the rewards and the buybacks and burns based on the earn days. So it's really fun. It's really exciting. I mean, once you get that, like, you're going to like be on the way home, you know, from work or wherever you are today, and you're going to be like, oh my God, that's awesome. That is so awesome. And like, once you really like realize like how cool that is, and when you see it being managed on a daily basis, and you see that happening, and you see your bags growing, and you see the airdrops growing, you're gonna be like, oh my God, this is so cool. So so anyway, and then the last 10%, 20% is marketing. So marketing, and then team. And I say team, and I shouldn't really say team because it's actually not going all to the team. Like, probably 90% of it is going to go to business expenses. You know, we're going to have, you know, we have to buy computers or equipment, or we might have to buy game show hosts, you know, Vanna White or whatever, if this, you know, grows into something and have something more glamorous than my earn and burn Rams colored Excel spreadsheet, right? So those are going to be like part of the last 2% for the team, and then what's ever left, you know, we're going to give something to us because we've all worked hard, right? So, but 2% of the complete buy and sell, which ends up being 20% or 10% of just a buy. I know that's confusing. I have a graphic. I'll post it. I have it pinned in. I have a graphic pinned in my Telegram if you guys want to see it.
No, I think we understand what you're getting at. No problem.
So anyway, so okay, so 10% is going to marketing, 20% whatever. It's huge and so important, and because I worked at Toyota, it was so awesome working for Toyota, because the Japanese culture, you know, traded on the Japanese stock exchange, that kind of thing. The Japanese culture really believes that you're a better worker if you're a whole person is better. So we do all these fun things like do drum circles with incense burning with upper management, and like, you know, all these self-help, the secret kind of classes, and you know, we did a bunch of fun stuff, but they included like the accounting department. They included us with some of the marketing things. I worked for Toyota Motor Sales, so I didn't work on, you know, in a dealership, obviously not for $12 billion, or I didn't work in, you know, the manufacturing plant, but they included us, and they felt like they were very inclusive, and included us in all of these, the marketing plans, and you know, and when I worked for Toyota, they were the 5th biggest company in the whole world. You couldn't turn around without, you know, a Toyota logo being on your cup, or at the ice skating rink where your kids are, or, you know, on TV at the Super Bowl, you know, Toyota banners. It just was just everywhere, and it was actually in the Super Bowl too. But like, you know, so and they'd include us on like their strategy of that. They would spend $1 million a minute on marketing. A minute.
Wow.
5th biggest company in the world. You got to think about that. 5th biggest company in the world. $1 million a minute. And the marketing, and I'm going to tell you, that's my plan with SifuInu. But $1 million a minute. I mean, maybe not that, but that's the thinking. because we have to get the word out. And once we get the word out, mass adoption becomes possible, and you don't even realize it. I mean, there's a little subliminal stuff going on there. But every time you turn around, and we had a lot of people in the AMAs, they're like, I saw you here, I saw you there, I saw you there. And that's how we're going to be. And we're going to be like, hey, DeFi Damsel, oh my gosh, it was here. SifuInu, dude, I just got a 150 airdrop, and we're going to do it all, like, and explore all the different types of marketing. One of the marketing things that they were coming up with was kind of fun, was guerrilla marketing. And this was probably like in 2012 or something like that. And they're like, we have people spray painting in like, the more economically challenged areas, like cool, like Toyota, like spiced up logos and like Toyota like graphic things like all over like on construction sites and stuff, and I'm like, that's pretty rad, so just gonna explore all different types of marketing. And we realized that in order for the project to be successful, and marketing is like right up there. So absolutely 20% of everything that's brought in, if not more. I mean, I might take some of the team, and that might be some of the business expenses, so it actually ends up being 40%, and it might all end up a lot of it going to marketing as well, because we need to get the word out and get the message out, because I think that once they do, they're going to realize that this is a pretty cool project, and everyone's going to want to be involved. So like I guess that's pretty much my spiel.
Great. I mean,
you have any questions for me?
Please, very much so. All right. So, I mean, you guys are on Avalanche. We're relatively cross-chain, but I think a lot of us are still getting into it. So Ethereum and BSC make up about 80% of all transactions on smart chains. A little bit more than that, I believe, actually. Why did you guys choose Avalanche?
Okay, so we chose Avalanche because we're an airdrop. Great question, by the way. We chose Avalanche because we are, well, first of all, there's two reasons. You being American, I'm sure you can relate. We really wanted to bring in the average user. Our target market was like, it's very difficult in the United States to buy Binance. Like, it's not easy.
It's blocked in several states now, actually, yeah.
What?
It's blocked in several states.
Oh, yeah, you can't buy it. And I don't know if you've ever dealt with Binance.us. They're a nightmare. They don't, they're in trouble with the SEC. And they don't exist. They don't have phones. They don't answer their calls. They don't answer their emails. They didn't even show up for SEC reportings. Like, they're bad news. Like, it's like scam central. I mean, I got scammed on Binance Smart Chain, my first ever example, like twice, like, first by having it's a scammy site, and it's very, very difficult to on-ramp fiat. You can't do it if you're from America. You just can't, because they'll see that you're an American bank account. So you have to buy here, and then you have to go with a VPN, which is a barrier to entry for a lot of people. I know the first time I used a VPN, I was sitting on there setting up my Proton Mail, watching this YouTube guy, like trying to figure it out, that kind of thing. And then I lost my phone, and I had 50K stuck in Binance, and I had to Shawshank redemption it out. Like, they only would let me take out $1,000 a day, so it took me 2 months, and every 10 days they'd close my account. So I'd have to be like, please open my account again. You can't steal my money. And they're like, because I had to prove that I was American, because the Google authenticator was like gone, and on my phone, and so I had to get a new one. And they're like, well, send us your ID. We're not going to give you your money unless you send your ID. And they're like, oh, you're from America, your account's closed, kind of thing. And so it took 60 days to sort of Shawshank my money out, and I did get it all back, but it's just not easy. So one of the main reasons is that, first of all, Avalanche is fast. It's got like 3, blockchains in it. So it's like going boop, 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 boop. It's like 10 times faster than Binance. I mean, it's just lightning fast speed. The only chain that I've ever seen that's faster, and not to like promote it or anything, but it's a pretty awesome chain, and I'm thinking about launching a project on it if it gets a little bit more mass adoption, is Harmony. But it's so lightning fast, and it's cheap. Okay, so being an airdrop community, this is another reason why we chose it. It's like airdrops every day at 15 cents a pop on Binance Smart Chain adds up. And like the money that we save from airdropping, you guys, once we get to like, 1 million users, 10,000 users, we get to that. I mean, just think of how much money that is. That's so much every single day to airdrop everybody at 15 cents a pop. That's a lot. Where on Avalanche, it's like a fraction of a penny. And that's another thing. Your fees are fractions. They're nothing. They're lightning fast. It's cheap, and you can buy it on Coinbase. And in America, I mean, you
I
can't
can
buy it
buy
on, you can't buy
AVAX on
Binance
Coinbase?
on Coinbase. You know,
Wait,
they're not going to
that's
ever.
accurate? I can buy actual
But
native AVAX on Coinbase?
yes,
I was not aware of
yes,
that. Very
yes.
interesting.
They added it a couple months ago.
Wow, very cool. I didn't when we first started trading on AVAX, that was not an option. Interesting.
It was not. It was
Huh.
not. They changed. I've been on Avalanche for like 6 months now, and I am just a huge, huge fan. Yeah, you can go in, and I actually trained my sister. Shout out to my sister. But like, she's like, I have Coinbase, and she actually got into Bitcoin before me. She's like, I bought some in like 2016, stuff like that. And she's like, I just have it in my Coinbase, that kind of thing or whatever. And she's like, but I want to get into DeFi. How can we do it? And I'm just like, got on a Zoom, boop, 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 and walked her through it. Yeah, bought it right on Coinbase, transferred it over to the MetaMask, and bing, bang, boom, Bob's your uncle. She had SifuInu in no time. So
Cool.
at the pre-sale price too. I mean, I'm screwing up for my sister. Oh God, I'm just kidding. It's so terrible, but you guys, this is really an amazing price. In the last AMA, it's kind of funny. We talked about there's, I guess, a feed the village quote or a slang term or a starve the village. And a lot of people will do these pre-sales to sort of feed the village. So they'll give a great price to all their friends and all their family and like that kind of thing, and then everybody who buys in at the fair launch gets screwed over. But we have the opposite thing going on. He pointed out, he's like, you guys have a starve the village going on. You're starving your friends and family out because they're not getting the good price. They paid, twice as much over it. And, all I can say is that we based it on, projects or something. I'm telling everybody dollar cost average in, open kimono, dollar cost average in, get a big bag, figure it out, sell some Bitcoin because it's never going to 10x or 100x or 1000x. Like hopefully this will. You can't make it. The SEC prevents us from really making any claims, and everything's subject to change. FYI, got to make that sort of notation. But it doesn't have the potential. There's no way. Like it's really impossible for Bitcoin to 10x right now, like within a short amount of time. Whereas this absolutely has the potential to 10x in a very short amount of time. So I'm like, sell a little bit of Bitcoin, double your bag, and dollar cost average in if you guys have already bought some in the pre-sale, and then bing, bang, boom, Bob's your uncle. But getting back to your question, so that's why we chose Avalanche, is because it's easy. You can just get on from Coinbase. And I want everybody to be able to join in on the fun without having to buy it and then swap it and turn ERC20 tokens into BEP2 tokens and then having to turn those into BEP20 tokens. Like it's too confusing, and it's too hard for the new DeFi user. And so and Avalanche is cool. There's not as many scams. There's scams everywhere because I just learned this, and I think you guys will find it interesting too. Did you guys know that hard rugs are illegal, but soft rugs are totally legal? They're immoral and wrong.
Immoral 100%. So actually, a hard rug is only illegal if you make a claim of locked liquidity in America, other than in 3 states, which is ironic. We're unregulated. We're brand new.
Crazy. It blows my mind. How is that not illegal? It's so crazy. I was reading because I wanted to make sure that we were compliant, right, with everything that we do. And so I was reading all the past, and what you do is you read. So I read all of the history from the SEC, like the SEC reports. I actually went in there I'm such a nerd, but I went in there for a solid day, and read all the SEC findings. And one of the reports was against the McAfee guy, the guy that did the anti, and it's so funny that it was this guy that does it, right? He's like the antivirus, protect your computer guy. But he did manipulation, and he actually worked with a founder of a token, and he's like, hey, I've got 1 million followers on Twitter. Like the price is really low right now. Let me buy a huge bag, and then I'll throw out a tweet and then increase the price, and then we'll dump it on everybody. But those emails and exchanges got to the SEC, and he had like a $36 million fine. Oh no, he made 36 million. This is the crazy part. This is gonna make you mad too. He made $36 million off of this transaction, but he only got fined $14 million. It's like, are you kidding me? Really?
The cost
Like,
of doing business. It's outrageous.
ah,
Often, yes.
so crazy to me. So yeah, but so we're not going to have any of that here. Open kimono, all of the documents, every announcement is going to be like, if we change, we're going to maybe do some promotions to encourage hodling. So we might say on a Tuesday, if today or the next earn day is going to be airdropped only to people who've never sold SIFU, who've never sold one SIFU. That's who the airdrop's going to go to today. It will all be announced prior, and it will all be made public in several places on all the socials and everything like that. But we're going to be running promotions, and we're going to encourage hodling because it's essential to the survival, and it's essential to your success too. I mean, the best way, the strategy way, is to buy SifuInu, buy a bag right now, and then use your airdrops, your AVAX airdrops, just to increase your bag and to just keep growing your bag as kind of like I don't know if you guys are familiar like with drip, but reinvesting, you know, it's just reinvesting into your project and then keep claiming those rewards, and it's going to just keep growing and growing and growing. Sure, and then take a little profits here and there, but the best strategy is for 200 days just to keep reinvesting, keep reinvesting, keep reinvesting, because this is a sustainable project. This project is not a pump and dump. This is here to stay. I'm not going to let it fail. And that's one of the things, like I get asked in the community sometimes, in case you don't bring this question up, it says like, you know, would it be better to pose it to the, you know, to community and have the community vote on it? And my answer is no, because the community, unfortunately, and I'm sure everybody has the best intentions at heart, but community tends to vote 99.9% of the time for the short-term gains and not the long-term interest of the project. So that's why it's a really good thing that I'm managing it, because I'm going to go in every day. I've baked in 1,000 days. So there's 1,000 days of automatic volume and earns and burns. So you can sit there and for 200 days, just keep reinvesting, keep reinvesting, keep reinvesting, and grow it. And then by the, you know, time 200 days, then maybe start taking some profits, because you'll have a lot there at that point. You know, by that time, I'm sure the price will have, I mean, who's to say, but it could, you know, 1,000x by then, right? So, you know, but keep reinvesting and growing your bags, and you'll get your airdrops, and it just has like a snowball effect when you reinvest, right? And so, and that's, to me, you know, is going to be my strategy, and you guys can all play along with me and follow along. So I'm going to go live on YouTube, like I said, every day, and I'll show, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm a really great, like, so the SIFU name, SifuInu, Sifu in Chinese means master or teacher, so master teacher, and then Inu in Japanese means dog. So we're kind of the master dog, you know, we're the teacher dog. Like, we're going to show you guys what is up, because we know what's up. So that's kind of the angle that we're coming from. But
well, you just answered one of my questions there. That was going to be, I was like, what made you guys choose SifuInu? That's very cool.
Oh yeah. So that's the name. That's the thinking behind the name. So yeah. Did you have any other questions?
One question before we get to the community here. Your team, how did you meet them, and what is their size? How large of a team are you guys comprising this?
So really great question, and I meant to mention this earlier, but not enough coffee. So okay, so I manage, or I moderate for a large. It used to be called the Dow Group, but we changed the name because it was because of all the bad experiences everybody had in the DAOs. And so we changed it to a DeFi, you know, name. But there's a group of us, and we're all admins in this group chat. And, you know, we were chatting, and I told him about the project or whatever, and then some of us started DMing on the side, and we were like, "Hey, you know, let's do this." And then one of my partner or fellow admins reached out to me and was like, "Hey, Laura, let's have a DeFi Damsel, aka Laura Jennison." He says, "Hey, Laura, let's have a phone chat, okay?" And I didn't look at his profile. His profile was like a possum or something with no cover photo. I'm like, I don't know anything about this guy. I thought he was like young, because most of the people in this space are considerably younger than myself. And so anyway, we get on a call, and he turns out he's from Australia, and he's like, "Hey, yeah, I was a senior principal for Oracle for, you know, a number of years. years. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And he's like, I got a bunch of ideas for you, for your team. And I mean, for SifuInu and I was gobsmacked because he's actually, my age, wasn't like, a 20-year-old, he's 20 something, he's younger and had like a real world experience like me. And he's like, I was a senior principal, a software developer, an engineer. I'm a veteran, I've got all this experience and all this wealth of knowledge that I can share with you. And then we bounced ideas off and back and forth. And we decided that this would be like a really great partnership for us to sort of merge our talents and our strengths and, create, and really move forward with SifuInu. And Scott has been wonderful. He's the one that came up with the transaction street of picking the blockchain, the transaction hash, the blockchain, the randomized number. So that was really awesome. And yeah, so I don't know if you guys know what a senior principal is, but so quick story. If do we have time? Do we have time?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So when I was in my 20s, I dated a guy who was he was a PhD in physics from Stanford. Never got a B in his life. Total genius, total straight. I don't think he'd ever even had a beer, right? We didn't work out because I'm like a lush. Just kidding. I barely drink. Just kidding. But anyway, so he goes, guess what, Laura? I go, what? He goes, I just got a call from Hewlett Packard, and this was in the 80s. So and they offered me $300,000 a year, which is like $1 million today, to be a principal for them. And you can only work in, and they said you can only work in 3 cities in the entire world, in Moscow and London or Houston. And he's like, they asked to go to Moscow. So he's like, I'm moving to Moscow. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. I go, what's a principal? Like the principal of a school? Like, what is that? Like, I don't know what it is, right? And he's like, no, it's actually like a software, like computer engineer, like a super like sought after, like, genius, like computer engineer type. And I'm like, you don't know anything about computers. He goes, but they're going to teach me. Because I have a PhD in physics in Stanford, a PhD, smart, never got a B kind of thing. They're like, we could teach you. So anyway, off he went to Moscow. So I knew what a principal was. And so then when I had this meeting with Scott, and Scott's like, I was a senior principal. I like supervised and taught like 50 principals. I'm like, oh my God, I know what that is. That's amazing. That's like incredible. And so it's funny. So he's got this like amazing, incredible background, like the only person, and this is when we were talking about when we're getting doxxed and we're discussing like what we should do when we get doxxed. And we're like, well, if we say anything like this of our backgrounds, there's like 2 of us in the world that have done that. They're going to be like, they Google us, they're going to be like, it sounds a lot like this guy, they're going to look at sounds like that's her, kind of thing. It's like, she managed this treasury, that's Laura, it's like, oh, he was a senior principal for Oracle, that's Scott. So we were like, you know what, it's just a better idea. We're not going to do anything anyway. As long as we follow the rules, let's just really dig in and understand all the rules and make sure that we do it all right and by the book, then everything's going to be fine. And so Scott and I joined, and then we have 2 other members of our team, and then we have a couple people that are sort of a secondary team that have asked to sort of not have their face in the limelight. They're more of a behind the scenes people and situation. But we have Alex Barini, who's on with us, and he's doing our live stream to Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube right now. Hi, Alex. And Alex is our cyber security guru. He is our IT, and he's going to help us if any bots or bad actors try to come in. He's going to help us, monitor that. And he's doing a great job with all of the cybersecurity and IT stuff. And then we have Emil Figueroa, who is a marketing mastermind, who's helping me on the marketing end. Hi, Emil, if we're out there. And yeah, so that's the 4 of us. You can see us all on the website. I have to update the website and put all of our LinkedIns and everything in there so you guys can see it. Like I said, open kimono. But yeah, that's on the to-do list. First I wanted to get this launched and airdropped and super successful and sold out. and yeah, so that's the team. That's what we have. And myself, of course.
I mean, that sounds amazing. And yeah, you're not imagining there's a different voice here. I'm his assistant. He just stepped away. But at this time, if the VC, if anybody in the voice chat has any questions, you guys can fire away. I'm unmuting people as we go. Anybody got?
I got one for you, Damsel.
Cool.
So on the pink sale, I've contributed. The big issue, obviously, seeing with the soft cap being 420 AVAX, traditionally when we don't hit that soft cap, the sales fail, and then we revert and go back. What's the strat? I'm looking at it. We're at 320 right now. Another 100 AVAX, 2 hours and 30 minutes.
I'm gonna buy it.
Hell yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Sweet, love it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how much I mean, it's my project. I believe in it more than anybody. I mean, that's what you want to hear, right? Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. I have a couple Bitcoin. I'm gonna sell
Let's
it.
go.
Yeah. Let's go. We're as good as gold, you guys. We're as good as check, match, set, win, whatever the saying is. I don't know. I don't play tennis. Is it even tennis? I don't even know. I'm a poker player. I'm all in.
There we go.
That
is quite appropriate for this. That's fair. All right, guys. Who else has a question?
Twitter, you guys. Oh, and I did mention the promotion, right? If you follow us on all 5 socials, you get $10 airdrop. So my Twitter, and 2 of the socials is my Twitter, and my Twitter is @LauraPoker. So yeah, you'll see all my WSOP stuff, and kind of deep dive into and my LinkedIn actually has a picture of me and Scotty Wynn. I don't know if any of you guys are poker players, but he's the one who got all the gold chains. He's like the Vietnamese guy who always says, "You got it, baby, you got it." So I got a big picture of him and his gold chains, like, "Oh, you got it, baby," as my LinkedIn picture. So none of you guys are shocked. but yeah, so so that's yeah,
Awesome.
that's where we're at. So the pink sale, okay, so it's going to get bought up, and so we're there. And so you guys are guaranteed, I mean, I'm pretty much telling you right now that it's going to get bought up and it's going to hit it, and it's going to be at this price. So hello, it's like, to me, it's like a no-brainer. It's like, I just want you guys to and I want to make sure that everybody understands, because I know that there was some disconnect, and people were like, oh my gosh, I don't really understand, how does this work? Because everybody's so used to a soft cap and a hard cap. So they don't really know. But when it's the soft cap is met, obviously I should have set it a lot lower. I should have set it at a 100, and then, we would have been to the moon and maybe put a little bit less. But I just went by, to be honest with you, a baby elephant. They were they were less than us. And I thought, okay, they spent less marketing spend, less, interaction, less community involvement, less wallet holders. I would thought this was just an easy 1,500 AVAX. But, it's just, well, it is what it is. But once the word gets out and the floodgates open, and people really the right tweet from the right person, or the right thing that gets influencer that recognize it, or the right marketing campaign, or whatever ignites this fire, once it takes off, you're going to be really stoked. You're going to be like one of those people that's like, I bought Doge at 0.00002. It's like, I bought SifuInu, and the fair launch. People are going to be like, oh, just kidding. I don't know. I mean, hopefully, right? That's the goal.
I gotta say, I love this energy, especially for AVAX. AVAX had a crazy run about 6 months ago, and then the chain has definitely slowed down. And it's good to see legitimate projects moving to it. That's
oh, thank you. Yeah,
I love
yeah.
I love a lot of things about AVAX. Trader Joe's is not my favorite, but I like Pangolin a lot.
Yes. And it's funny because I actually bought Pangolin. I bought a lot of Pangolin. I bought a considerable amount of it, and then they had problems with their team, and so we were going to originally launch on Pangolin, but we decided that for the community standpoint that we were going to go with Trader Joe's, and they're easier, and so we are going to launch in Trader Joe's. The Pangolin is a little bit of but their team walked off. They were just they threw their hands up and left.
I think
So
Trader Joe's is
I
very
don't
much a better
know.
business system, but it's just their UI is a little bit interesting to me. But I mean, that's a user interface on a web page. It has great course to it. All right, guys. Anybody else have questions for this damsel here? Okay, if that's all the questions we have. I mean, oh, you do? Go ahead, buddy.
Real quick, because obviously I'm just aping in harder now that I know that you're going to buy it up, because why not?
You guys, I know, buy it. It's an ape in. You guys are gonna be so bummed because I'm gonna come in like an eBay sniper bot, at the last second, and I'm gonna outbid you guys by 1 penny, and I'm gonna buy it.
When so once it's all finished, finalized,
Front run me. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
when do you officially launch? Like, when will you go live?
So I have to take a look at the numbers, and either tomorrow or the next day. I don't want too much of a lag time. It's going to be very soon.
Sweet. Thanks.
Yep. You're welcome.
Guys, last chance. I'm about to end the recording.
Ape in, everybody. We've literally got, a few minutes left, but 2.5 hours. So I mean, I wish somebody would tell me this stuff. Like, I wish someone would have been like, hey, I have this opportunity to, like, get in at a really good price on a really good project, like with an amazing, like, founder and that kind of thing. It's just okay. Maybe it's a little bit different because it's on the Avalanche blockchain, but, I just wish somebody would tell me this kind of stuff. It's like, to me, it's a no-brainer.
Hey guys,
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good. What's up? How are you?
Very. Go ahead.
Hi. Okay, so first and foremost, I like to say that I like your energy. It's hard to come across people that have so much energy as you do, and it's
Thank you.
contagious, Yeah.
Thank
And-
you.
Okay, so I like to know. Usually in the BSS space, a lot of people are wary of fair launches because the concern is you may get to have the majority of investors at the fair launch, and then when you get to do the public launch, you may just not have more people investing, so it might affect the buying pressure. So I don't know if it is something that you thought about, and what are the plans to ensure that after the fair launch, once there's a public launch, there's buying pressure, and a lot of people are interested in buying. But because I believe these concerns are valid, and I believe you understand it.
That is a fantastic question. I have to tell you that that is my number one concern and my number one goal. And my plan is to push it with marketing and just do everything I can do, like continue these AMAs. I'm trying to get onto an AVAX. There's groups like this that are strictly for the Avalanche groups. My plan is to get out there and, show my energy like this, and just get out and just get the word out. And so to get the participation up so that people will still buy it, that people will go to do the earns and burns, to go live all the time, to do everything that I can to make sure that the volume gets up. Do a big, huge airdrop, like right off the bat. Like, put a whole bunch of like 50 million SIFU wallets out there, so no matter which one gets hit, we're doing another one and then adjust it and repost it the next day, because that will, once the word gets out, like someone's gonna be like, hey dude, I just got dropped like 2 million of these like tokens, dude, the price is this and this, it ended up being like $200 or something like that. Like if people get $200 airdrops, they're gonna be so stoked. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, you gotta get into this. And there's no better advertising than word of mouth. Word of mouth is number one. So if you guys, so tell all your friends and family, they got 2.5 hours. But seriously, it is you know, once that happens, it's gonna go viral. So I need to focus on that. I am not gonna lay off the pedal. I have literally I did 9 hours of AMAs yesterday. I'm doing like 4 today. I'm just gonna keep this up. I'm gonna keep it up and keep this excitement going and this energy going and everything going in order to ensure that people buy once it launches. Because if people just dump their bags, then I will be very, very, very sad. And if my project like goes to zero, so I'm not gonna let that happen. I'll just airdrop everybody. Everybody's going to be like, what? You know, and marketing. So I'm going to take all of the volume of all the money of all the buys and sells and all the taxes, and I'm just going to throw it towards marketing.
Awesome stuff. I can see that in the chat there are a lot of people who have your hands raised because they're interested in asking questions. I guess that you have generated a lot of interest. I just want to know though, you spoke about marketing, doing a lot of marketing after your launch, but just in your Telegram group, it's not. Let me just say that it does not match your energy. You know, it seems like there's more activity on Discord than in the TG group. Just my own opinion, you know. So I just feel like maybe if that you know this same energy that you have here, if you can maybe get people to up the energy in the group, get a community, you know, to just get more involved because there are a lot of people that who are investors who are not really interested in using Discord, but are more interested in using Telegram. So I don't know. It's just my own opinion.
You know what? That's really great feedback, and I appreciate that so much. You know what I need to do on my Discord? I need to do a suggestion box, because I mean, although you're saying that that's not something, but that inspired me to put a channel on for the suggestion box. That's good. You know what? I do need help with the Telegram, and I need to hire some hype mods and help the excitement grow in there. And I'm absolutely going to put that on my list and my top priority. And luckily, I partnered with Pink Sale, and one of their recommendations, actually the CEO of Pink Sale, actually gave me this marketing guy, and like he sent me this whole list or whatever. So I was asking a bunch of questions. He's like, here, you know, here's a list of marketing people, and he goes, you know what? I go, this is a very serious project. We're trying to like earn a lot of money. He goes, you know what? Just call this guy. And then he gave me Karan, shout out. Hi. I think he's probably asleep right now. He's been working so hard for us. But he's the one that has all of the mods and all of everything for Telegram. So once I let him know, he will help me staff it a little bit better and staff it to the level that it needs to be at to match my energy and my enthusiasm for the project. So I appreciate the suggestion, and I am absolutely going to take it and run with it. Thanks.
Awesome. I like the fact that you are always looking to improve. And
Yes.
well, if you like me enough, you could send me a DM, and I could be one of your hype mods.
Oh,
So
yeah?
take care,
You want to
guys.
do it?
Yeah.
Send me a
Why
DM
not?
and remind. I'm not kidding. Send me a DM. Okay, send me a DM and put hype mod as the first little thing, because I have them all, because there's so many. I had people calling me at like 2 a.m. like you know, so I have them archived right now. But just if you put, I can see just a little put. So put hype mod right there, you know, and just remind me of that, and I will talk to you. Because, and you know, my saying, and I don't think I said it in this AMA yet, is like continuous improvement. No best, only better. Okay, you've got to always be adaptable, because there's so many mistakes they're giving me. I'm going to make the most of them. This is my project. I'm obviously going to make the most mistakes out of anybody, but I'm not one of those people that can't admit fault and can't say, you know, I was wrong. If nobody died, you know, I've built in the mechanics of this, and I have the ability to make these adjustments and make these corrections. If you know the market turns in a different way or whatever, I can do that, you know. And there's no best, only better. Continuous improvement. It's actually a Japanese word that's called Kaizen, continuous improvement.
Aw-
It's good though. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome stuff. Or I actually just tried to send you a message, but I could not. So maybe you could do that first, or add me as a contact, and I'll be able to do that.
Oh, it wouldn't let you, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Did it go in the archive? No, huh? Okay, battle. I'm not the best at Telegram. Battle Major. Let's do this live. There you go. Are you Battle Major HD Ramsey? Is that who you are? No. You know what? Can you send me a DM? I know you don't like Discord, but can you send me a DM on Discord?
Oh, okay. Let's see about that. Let's see
Yeah,
about
you
it.
can
Or I
send.
could just go
I
to.
know you. I don't have it blocked there. It was just too much spam in Telegram, so I had to shut it off. So go ahead and block
Or
me on. I mean, block me. Go ahead and DM me on Telegram. I mean, on Discord.
Or, yeah, or I could just tag you in your group. How about that? Just tag you in your group so you can take note of.
Yeah,
something.
perfect. That's a better plan. Thank you so much. Okay, perfect. And then I'll add you to my contacts, and that'll fix that problem. But I just want to say, if there are other questions, you guys, come into the Telegram. Tag me in the Telegram and ask me your question here. So if you don't get it answered here, go on our Discord. We have an AMA section where people have AMA questions, and we do like kind of an ongoing AMA there, so you can ask me anything at any time, and I'll always come in there and check it and answer your questions. So you can ask me anything at any time. And so if you weren't able to get your question answered, go after this. After I have one more AMA after this, but after that, I'm going to go in the Telegram group before I buy up the soft cap, and I'm going to answer some of the DMs. And look at some of the my tags and questions.
Awesome. All right, guys. And Damsel, I'm sorry to say this. We have another AMA in 19 minutes,
No.
so I got to end the recording here myself. But everyone, I believe we know how to reach out. I will do a recap with all the socials and everything. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, I bought into this project. I have some faith in it. Let's see how this goes.
Oh, thank you. Yay. All right, guys, let's go. And maybe I'll check in with you in a little bit, right?
Sounds great.
Like
Actually,
a week or something.
I sent you a DM. If you'd like me to include the social so people know how to get into the giveaway, respond back and I'll include that in the recap for us.
I will. Let me write that down. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys have been awesome. Much better than the last AMA. Just kidding. Take
Glad
care.
to hear it. Thank you as well.
Okay,
Guys,
bye.
Bye. We're going to do the fastest